Okay, so we know that Lawrence Hargrave School is built on a floodplain, and we know that floods are going to come. So anywhere where you're building on a floodplain, you have to adjust your building standards, and there'll be rules about how you build the school. You might have noticed the high water mark is here, which was just below that flood in 1988. It was just below the level of the Newtech room. And it's also just below the level of the courtyard. So the school has been built up into the air so that the classrooms don't flood. Now here we've got the music room and the art room, or the new bookshed. That's the last building the school. And look how high up off the ground it's been built. And that's for a reason, so that the classrooms don't flood. It's basically just air underneath the building. And if we go for a walk around the school, you'll see that that's how the whole school's been built, to get the school up out of the water in case of a flood. And that's how they build houses and buildings everywhere where there's a flood zone. So why else do we have stairs here? To lift us up out of the floodplain. So if a flood comes, the classrooms here aren't going to get wet. So I'll walk up the stairs for no other reason than to keep me out of the flood. We're keeping our feet dry up here. That's the way they've built the buildings. So if you look here, this is the GA room. It's below the level of the flood water. So this room is one of the rooms that will get flooded during a flood. So here in the courtyard is actually about half a metre higher than the football field. So right now we're up out of the flood water. So it's been elevated to stop the school from flooding here as well. So if I walk to the staff room and the administration block, I'm walking downhill, so I'm going back down into the flood water. So we're coming off the courtyard now, so we're now below the level of the courtyard. We're getting into the flood water again. But to protect the administration block and the staff room, again, you've got to walk upstairs out of the flood water, so all of this area should be safe from flooding. So here again with class 9 and class 10, their floor level is up above and about level with the courtyard, so it's up out of the flood water. So that's how they've built the building. So here again, this ramp shows you how high up the main building is built above the football field to get the classrooms away from the floodwater. So we're probably close to 2 metres above the football field here by the time we get down that ramp. So all the classes are lifted up out of the floodwater. So here we are going into the awning. We're out of the floodwater now, but in the awning, we've got to walk up the staircase. And if the big flood comes, all of this down here is going to be under the water. But you can see how much higher all the classrooms are than the football field, and that keeps the classrooms safe. So that's just showing you how the school has been built to protect it from floods. And in the context of building anywhere, that's what you've got to do if you're building on a floodplain. You've got to lift the place up, have air underneath so water can just go in there, not wreck anything. And then where you live or where you work is up out of the flood water. And they do that everywhere, all around the world. Thanks guys.